lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreon, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me there. So a big shout out to Adrian Quintana, Alistair Main, Billy Highvolt, Burn Fat Till My Stomach Is As Flat As The Earth, Chow Young Cat, Dank, Dave Rakia Gifford, or Gafford, get your name right one day, David Wayne Foster, big shout out to you, Edwin Johnson, Felix Hung, Fireball X, Jaronism, Kirsten Smith, Life is Short, Matt, Naibai, Qatar, Craig, Reinhardt, Renee, Sally Bellis, Sam Hine, Skeptic936, Texas Mike, theflatearthchannel.com, Tina Baker, and Tom Herkins. Massive appreciation to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now we are joined by Righteous Force, Flatzoid, and 10th Man in G+. How are you all doing?
Really good.
Good afternoon. How's it going?
Very well. No complaints. Also got a few people in Discord. Well, one. Hello from Discord, if you can hear us.
Yeah, I can hear you, Nathan.
Hello, good to have you.
Good morning, Discord.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Very well.
Very well.
Excellent. How is everybody today?
Very well.
Beautiful. Beautiful morning. It's
I
going to
hope
be
the
here in
sun's shining
California.
where you are, just like it is here.
Yeah, very nice day.
Yeah, it is. Unusual for this time of year.
I don't know if I agree with you. It goes in kind of cycles. So pay attention to the moon and what it's doing and what the weather's like in your particular neck of the woods, and you'll find that it's actually pretty cyclical. So this isn't just something that's flat Earth related. So I remember Brian Cox describing it once when he's walking up. He's describing it as a guy walking up and down a beach with a dog. Now the guy himself is following the patterns of the seasons, but the dog is sort of fluctuating up and down, up and down, up and down within that cycle. And it's the same thing with the weather. So throughout any given season, it'll get warmer and then cooler, and then warmer and then cooler within that cycle itself. So you'll have a cold snap in a cold period, and it'll be really, really cold. But likewise, when it's summer, you can have a warm snap, and it's incredibly warm. But it doesn't mean that at the other end of that mini cycle, you won't have a slightly cooler period within summer or a slightly warmer period within winter. So there's often days, I can remember plenty of days in winter when I've gone out without a coat because it just isn't necessary. You can feel the sun beating down and it's warm, but that's just because it's on an upward turn in terms of temperature, even though at the moment the overall temperature's on a massive downward turn.
Yeah, but you're forgetting that I'm in the very north of Scotland. It's always cold and wet up here.
That completely changes the rules. So yes, I'm sure in Scotland it's a very rare occurrence, generally speaking.
Always
Good point.
winning the lottery and moving to the Bahamas.
Well, when climate change melts the ice caps no one's been to, you'll be alright up on your mountain with your tropical climate that comes in. Sat there with a pineapple or whatever. We'll all be drowning in the Midlands.
That's funny. Yeah, the temperature changed here quite a bit. I have my sides up for my greenhouses during summertime because I have a mesh screen and the air flows through it and doesn't cook everything. And now in the evenings, it dropped to 44 degrees Fahrenheit, whereas it was in the, I would say, 70s and high 60s in the evening time. And that just happened like a switch went off. Seasons are changing.
Yeah, as soon as you go past the equinox, you're just getting less sun.
Yeah, as seen by the earlier the sun sets now as well. Used to set past 8 o'clock. Now it's like 6:30 something, 6:40.
Yeah. It's a fairly abrupt change. You know, the heliocentric model leads you to believe that it's like a gradual change as you're orbiting. But in reality, you go past the equinox, then it changes. It's fairly abrupt, in my experience.
No, that's what I was saying. It's like a switch. It just, boom, it's a bang. It just happened. So can I continue that conversation yesterday that was really good about models and reification?
Talk about whatever you
I'm
want.
up. I'm up for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's that, Flatfoot?
Up for it.
So
Oh,
I'm
okay. All right, he's barely coming in, but so even if we pre-address a topic that we want to talk about as a model, are we not allowed to talk about models as long as we address it and it's a reification or based on such and such? I think it might be this, but I don't know, and make it clear that I don't know. Or, I mean, it was kind of a good talk, but I just want to know at what point can we actually talk about models and not be serious about it?
I don't, because I don't see. When we're talking about the nature of reality and we're looking for empiricism where previously we've been fed pseudoscience, I see no reason to feed my audience any further pseudoscience. So I don't see
Correct.
there's any need ever, but that's just me.
No, correct. I agree with you 100%. Can't go more than that. I'm just saying, is there a time where once you've done that, and that's the stance, and that's my stance, because we've been lied so much, and if we're talking about nature of Earth, I don't want no dang model. I want reality. But are we not like ever able to discuss possibilities within the frame of that arena?
I mean, anybody can do whatever they want. The problem comes when you assert that that's proof of something. And in the case of flat Earth, obviously the people who are holding up these models are declaring that they've got proof the Earth is flat. Here's an example of it. Now, yeah, that's one step removed from directly reifying that model, but to the untrained ear and eye, they are just doing that. They're just reifying a model. They're just saying this is the way the world looks. Well, no, it isn't.
Well, are they saying that? Are they actually saying that if
Yeah.
they have a disclaimer?
Basically, yeah. I mean, it might be the case that it's said in a fairly ham-handed way, but it doesn't make any difference. If you're holding up a model and going, even if you give the disclaimers, this is what it could look like. No, it couldn't. It's never going to look like that. We don't live on a model, so that's an incorrect assertion. But if somebody wanted to argue the benefits of being able to snap somebody out of a particular reification fallacy using another reification fallacy, well, yeah, maybe.
Well, let me give you an example. Let's say I'm sitting down at a restaurant with a baller, and we're talking, and I'm staunch on my position that the Earth is non-rotating, motionless, and still. He says, "10th man, what does it look like?" I said, "I have no idea what it looks like." Well, what do you think it looks like? I said, "Well, like I said, I haven't been high enough or traversed far enough to map it in any way to know what its dimensions are, if I could even take its dimensions." "No, I know, 10th man, but if you were to guess just for fun, what do you think?" I said, "Well, water doesn't bend. Water finds its level. So to me, it's flat." "Well, does it have an edge?" "Well, I don't know if it has an edge. I know it has a boundary of some kind, because obviously water has to be contained like gas uh, gas pressure can't be gas pressure without a container. Water has to be contained somehow. I just don't know what that container looks like. So then we grab a piece of paper or the napkin and a pencil and we start doodling and we create something visually. No one's saying this is the way it looks like. These are just conversations. I'm saying within that
That's the
realm.
point. The point is to look at it and imagine that as a scale version of your world. That's the point of it. What other purpose does it serve?
Conversation.
Just for chit chat.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, I'm not adding any credibility to any model. I don't believe in models.
But up until the point that you produced the model, all I was thinking is that when there's a pause here, I'll point out that upon presentation of a model, you could pull apart that model. So if the guy who you're arguing with, I know it was yourself in that instance, but the hypothetical imaginary guy that you're going to argue with in this scenario starts to ask you what it looks like and you do exactly as you did and say, well, I don't know. I've not got up and seen it all. You could add, and all of the models and maps that we presented with are not accurate. For one reason or another, they don't work in all instances. Well, you could strap that on. But beyond that, you're not a cartographer. I'm not a cartographer. And all of the people who are cartographers have given us inaccurate models and maps.
Correct.
So what do you want? You know, you can't be expected to produce an accurate working map as opposed to model, and there is a distinction between the two. You can easily reify a map also. But why would you have to do that is my question. What puts the burden of responsibility in that regard on your shoulders?
Well, see, I see it a different way. I think you're absolutely correct in what you just said. See, I'm agreeing with everything, but at the same time, the exercise itself of reifying a model proves how silly it is. Because you're saying, I don't know, but I know how water is, and I know what I don't observe or feel spin. So, there's no way I can prove it. And so what you're doing is showing the exercise is futile by doing it. That's the whole point. So no one knows. Now, if they gave me $53 million a day, and I could have the most technically advanced ships and aircraft, and they allow me to go wherever I want, I might have a shot of doing something that I don't have right now. But I don't have that shot.
Yeah, so why, you can point out where you've been lied to, where the fakery comes in. The people who are giving you certain aspects of the cartography of where you're supposed to live are also the people who are claimed to do space exploration. And you explain why space is fake. I mean, like I say, I just don't see the burden of responsibility for providing either a pseudoscience model or an accurate map as my responsibility. That doesn't change the obvious and observable nature of my reality, an aspect of that reality being flat. The only thing I ever experience.
Well, let me take it to this. I think you're right if it's very serious in nature. But if I took that piece of paper and I said, look, I could do what they do. Here's a square boundary. Let's fit everything we know about Earth in there. Oh, here's a rectangular boundary. Let's put everything about Earth in there. Oh, here's a circular form. Let's put everything about. Look, which one of these is it? I could guess too. Models don't prove anything. We just know that the waters are kept in somehow by a boundary. We just don't know what the shape is. That's all I'm saying.
The only reason they want you to tie yourself to a model is so that they can pull it apart.
Of course. But I'm pulling it apart as I'm showing it to them, is what I'm saying.
But why? Why not just pull apart their assertions? If you don't know, you don't know. I'm happy to admit that.
No, I'm showing them the exercise of actually doing those 3 different models I just shared is pseudoscience, and that's exactly what they fed us.
So what you're saying is by presenting the models, you also point out in so doing that they are a reification fallacy.
Yes. I said, look, I could do it too, but I could do it to something I know. There has to be a barrier of some kind, but let's make it square. Oh, hang on. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's make it a circle. Ooh, maybe I'm wrong. Make it rectangular. Ooh, maybe I'm wrong. Let's make it a triangle. Ooh, which one? We've been lied to. We don't know. We can't go there. There are no models. I'm just saying I'd like to have that conversation and mock it and come up with 20 different versions.
No, I get it. You know, all the jokes about the Dick Earth model, 2017-ish. Very amusing. Useful tool for pulling apart the nonsense that is models.
Yeah, it's just interesting to me how they can believe this one pseudoscience CGI, which is so obvious CGI. I want to mock it. I want to mock it using their way of doing it. And they'll say, yeah, but you can't prove that. I go, oh, you mean like the one I'm watching now? You can't prove?
Oh, for God's sake. This STT dude.
Oh, the Echo guy?
Back in. All he does is come in with his mic wide open, causing feedback. Pissed me off royally when I listened to the show back yesterday. Like, who are these people? They come in and say nothing with their mic wide open for the entire show. So what, we can sit and listen to their speakers as feedback? What an idiot.
Oh.
Sorry.
He's going to get kicked out if he keeps doing that. You might say that's not model behavior. Starts early over here, Nathan. Hey, Righteous, how you doing?
I'm okay. Yourself?
Good. Get that STS into the after show if he keeps this up.
Yeah, I just unmuted him and noticed, but he left.
Yeah, I was about to ask him. It's like, why did you sit for the entire show yesterday with your mic open, not saying anything? Annoying.
It was the entire show?
Not the entire show. The entire show he was here.
Oh.
There was a good period of time, though. You're addressing it and he still won't go on mute. I mean, it's so simple.
Can cope with a bit of feedback if somebody's actually got something to say and they've got no alternative. In other words, they don't have headphones. They're so incompetent they don't know how to turn the speakers down. So they're sitting with their speakers blasting out and you're listening to them listening to you. It's like, fine, if you've got something to say, I'll tolerate that. But if you just sat there and literally you've got nothing to add to the conversation other than your feedback because you can't be asked to close your mic.
Most people haven't worked with electronics and produced a show to understand what you just said, but if they were in your shoes, they would totally understand.
A little flashing light ring around you when you start making audio for you, even if it's me. So I can see myself now with a little ring around me. If you're so dumb that you can't notice that your own little ring is flashing continually when you're not saying anything, then you're just dumb. Okay? Those sorts of people, it's like, if you're that stupid that you can't tell when you're causing racket and your little light's flashing constantly in front of you, it's like, if you can't notice that, you're too stupid to be here.
Well, it was partly my fault, I guess. I was playing games to notice.
No. I took him off mute as well as soon as he came in because I was going to say to him, do you actually have anything to say? If not, just pop yourself on mute. Immediately he starts causing feedback and then he left. Anyway. Moaning.
Well, it's happened to me. You've called me out on it, and then, oops, okay, hit mute. But to just not change it all that time, that's the problem.
But you talk, remember?
No,
Yeah,
I know,
you're
but
off the
there's
hook.
but there's times that I violated the mic rule, and 10th man. Oh, sorry.
Forgetting to go on mute after saying something is very different to joining off mute, never saying a word and causing feedback the entire time in the face of me moving you to the after show. Because obviously if there's a great conversation going on, I don't want to disrupt it to tell some random idiot in Discord go on mute when there's a conversation going on. So I moved this. Here he is. Dude, what's his name? How do you say it? Hello, STT. Can you hear us?
If you spell it back Call me.
What, sorry? Hello? Can you hear us? STT.
Yeah, I don't know why it's
Need to keep on mute if you're not saying anything.
okay. So,
Can't even hear what he's saying anyway.
I know.
Yeah, the mic
Yeah, he's
doesn't
a bit
even work.
soft and he's cutting out somewhat. So yes, Studio MC, yeah, your mic is soft and you're cutting out. So I think, yeah, that's the issue.
let me get a different microphone.
Or just go on mute rather than causing constant feedback. That would be wonderful.
Let me see if I could help. If you're gonna talk, that's when you have your mic. If you're not gonna talk, put it on mute.
Thank you, 10th man.
I
Found
gotta
as you
say
are
different
funny.
ways. Oh boy. You know, it's weekend's coming. I'll be around some people more than likely that I've talked to about flat Earth that have kind of brushed it under the rug, and they know every time they get around me, you know, don't even say anything about the cosmos or anything, because if you do, he'll bring it up.
Fair enough. Pretty big part of your world,
Isn't
right?
it?
Cosmology
I love
is
it.
your overall worldview, and if people are like, don't question my cosmology. So, all right,
Yeah.
okay. Well, being questioned by quite a number of people right now. Like it or lump it.
I find it hilarious. I mean, it should be the easiest thing to rebut, but they're afraid to take the subject seriously to rebut it. That is the clue.
A clue to what?
Well, they say you're just trolling, or they'll say you're just having fun with us. You're not serious, are you? I go, no, I'm dead serious. I have put so much time and research into the heliocentric lie. Do you know about Nicholas Copernicus? Do you know about this? Do you know about that? And I start throwing things out that they haven't heard since school, you know, way back then when they were in school, if they even heard it. And they're going, you're crazy. And I go, then rebut it. What, $100 bet, cash? What do you want? What challenge will you go for? Or will you just sit there and be a sheep? Look, are we spinning? Just look. Do you feel spin? No, you don't, do you? Now prove to me we're spinning.
I thought you were going to say the effectiveness of the indoctrination.
Well, that's already there. But you're right. It is effective because sheep don't think. I've owned sheep. I've owned goats. I've owned lots of animals, and they're frightened and they like their safety, and uh, they need a shepherd. These people need a lie, or they could change it for the truth. But either way, they need a shepherd. Yep, that's that. Those are times when you put hours into what you're prepared to share, and you come in subtle, and they just do the same moves as everyone else. Same. You could almost. He's going to do this. Watch, or she's going to say this. Listen, it's the same thing that all indoctrinated people do. But the minute you ask them to think, The minute you ask them to challenge it, the minute you ask them to prove you wrong and put $100 bill down, or whatever it takes, a challenge of some kind. Let's sit down. I'll buy lunch. Let's discuss it. No. Oh, so you are a zombie.
Mic check.
Yeah, you're coming in.
Hello.
Why'd you
Hello?
come in right when I said you are a zombie? Why did you come?
Yeah.
Perfect timing. Come on.
Guys, do you have any nasty, strange noise from my side?
No, you're good.
All right. Because my laptop thinks he's a hummingbird.
Can you guys hear button clicking on my end?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys notice it. Let me know.
No, we don't. We don't know your kill count yet. So, any of you guys have family and friends that you're constantly talking about or trying to have a conversation with that's not happening?
That's not into it. Is that what you said?
Well, someone that knows where you are, but then avoids it at all costs.
I guess my dad.
Yeah, Sentiment, I've had this issue.
Yeah, my uncle.
So, what happened with your uncle?
No, he's just avoiding the topic. If that's what you ask.
So, the other person, your dad, there were two dads, right?
Yeah, I think Righteous hit his dad, and I hit my dad. I'll let Righteous go first, yeah, because my mic is not that good now, but yeah.
You're good. It just
My dad's now flat as fuck.
Well, I'm slowly like mentioning some things just to get him thinking a little bit.
But how's his view of you?
Yeah.
Well, obviously he thinks it's bizarre, but he watches like a lot of news and stuff like that, so he's pretty indoctrinated, I guess. I haven't seen him in a while. I just started talking to him again. So
Have any of you, with your uncle or your dads, actually been able to show a NASA fail video, like the guy with the wires or something, to where they can actually see on TV from their sources the phoniness of what they're trying to sell us? Has anyone done that? And then what was the response?
I haven't gotten that far.
Yeah, neither have
I've shown
I. I'm still stuck on 9/11 and the Federal Reserve.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate forum, which you should definitely all join. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below this video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion right here, right now, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by Flatzoid, Righteous Force, 10th Man, Ranty, and I think that's it. Oh, the one in G+. How are you all doing?
Good.
all
All good here, Nathan.
Hello, very good to have you all. We're also joined by a fair few people in Discord as well. So good to everyone. Good to have everyone in Discord too. Hello.
More to the point, Nathan. How are you?
Me,
Hello.
I'm fantastic. Any signs of Earth curvature?
Not from Colorado.
South Africa still flat.
No, I can't find any. Maybe Nathan, maybe Arwin can find some with his new P900. Who knows?
Hopefully, the P900 that you gave him.
Yeah, the one he needs to actually use, and
I'm sure he will eventually. I heard him say that he's been ill the last few days, so I'm sure he'll get out there and do something with it. He was pretty keen to get hold of it, so I'm pretty sure he'll do something. Maybe he'll find some Earth curve. Go on. But yeah, he said he wanted to do some bird watching. I was like, what the hell? Ornithology isn't exactly a flat Earth related subject unless you're Gem Panda and you want to claim that a natural experiment is to be had in watching birds hump. Beyond that, there's no ornithology to be utilised as far as I'm concerned. Maybe you'll find Earth curve. We'll see. I'm sure he'll join shortly.
Wasn't there a lake near where you guys gave it him? He could have done something there, Nathan.
A lake? It's in
Amsterdam.
I thought it was a river or something. It's like loads of little rivers and stuff. But yeah, there's a little bay right outside where we were.
Did he go looking for curve?
I had to do a double take. I know this is off topic, but I was standing outside, I'm having a smoke, and I'm like, it's weird, you're smoking weed outside, right? It's very strange. But nevertheless, I look over at the bay, and I kid you not, there's a bus in the water moving along, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? I did a double take, and I'm like, what the hell, what am I smoking? This is weird. So I looked at the guy next to me, I'm like, is there a bus in that bay? And he's like, yeah. It's like, it's a bus boat. I'm like, oh, okay, so so immediately what goes through my mind is it's a boat, it just looks a bit like a bus. And he's like, no, it's an amphibious bus. it does actually drive out at the other end and look like a normal bus. So I'm like, I'm not going nuts, I'm not seeing things. It is actually a bus driving in the water then. It's like, yeah, it is, yeah. I was like, wow, never seen that before.
But
imagine that if you didn't know. You just on a bus, you get on at a bus stop, and next thing you know, you see it ploughing into water, and you're like, oh no, what's going on?
Imagine you climbed on that bus and you didn't know.
Exactly. You should be terrified.
Actually, it's a sub. The bus driver's dyslexic.
Chocolate.
So let's move on. Any signs of axial rotation?
Good morning.
Good morning, Chocolate.
Morning, Chocolate.
What's up, people?
And hello to everyone in the chat. Don't tend to say hello to everyone in chat. Hello to everyone in chat. If you're on screen now, you're going to get a shout out. Hello, Colin, Ute, Eagle, Plane and Anchor, Steve, Trish. What else we got? Mario, Constance, and Ranty. Hello to everyone in chat. If you didn't get a shout out, you just want it on screen when I give you a hello. So was that any signs of axial rotation?
No axis to rotate around.
No, but we got that echo again.
That's from the rotation.
What about scientific evidence of gravity? Yeah, I noted
What
the one.
the hell is that?
Again?
What the hell is that?
Gravity.
Yeah. Please enlighten me.
Hey, Sleeping Warrior.
Hey.
Hey. Good stream. I enjoyed your stream immensely this morning.
Yeah.
There's a lot that you can attack them ballers on when they start talking about scientific method because they get it wrong all the time.
Hey, Arwin.
Hello.
Oh, God. Is my voice changer not working now? Is it back to normal?
You sound a little bit more normal now.
Did you just accidentally press a button on?
When I went to your stream, I was like, what the hell's going on with his voice? It sounds crazy.
I think it was my computer saying that.
Like this, bro. I was like, what the fuck?
It's a voice meter. It's a voice meter thing. I'm pretty sure, because my kid occasionally taps the touchscreen, and that's normally when there's an audio issue. You're like, why do you sound funny? It's because she's just tapped. I'll bring it up on screen so you can see what I'm talking about. So there's a little.
Yeah, it's the low high pass filter in it. I know what you're referring to, and it wasn't that. It was something else.
Oh, is it not?
It was.
Well, I'll just show it just as I brought it up on screen. So this is obviously in the normal position. Then if I move it over here, I'll sound something like this. And then if I move it over here, I'll sound something like this. And so on and so forth.
What the fuck?
Depending on where you get a different type
Oh
of
my
effect.
god, Nathan just took off his human mask.
Silence, Legolas.
Ah!
Nathan's a reptile. Oh no.
I knew it.
So now we'll get some bowlers on here hearing what we talk about.
Oh yeah, quick talk about Back to the Future.
Yeah. So Nathan asked something about something called gravity. Can somebody tell me what the hell this is?
What is gravity? Is that what you're asking me to ask?
Yeah, what's that thing? Gravity.
Is there any scientific evidence specifically? Is what I'm interested in.
No scientific evidence for stuff that doesn't exist. I'm sorry.
It's like Anthony said, they can't even explain the scientific method properly. So how do you expect them to give you a precise definition of gravity when they don't even have one?
They can't even define gravity.
What's the hypothesis for gravity in the first place?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
How do you define stuff that doesn't exist?
It depends.
By the way,
you're asking
Nathan Thompson in the Discord server is asking, how do I get unmuted?
How do you get unmuted?
He apparently can't unmute himself.
Unmuted? Well, maybe one of the mods must have got to you before I did, Nathan.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
I unmuted.
Yeah, we hear you. Good to have you.
All right, great. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. Good
Hey.
afternoon. Good evening.
Anyone know how you unscrew an IV filter on the end of a P900?
Have you figured that out yet, Arwin, by the way?
Yeah, got it.
Good. No more yellow photos.
I didn't even notice it, really, the difference.
A little birdie told me that about 25 people were trying to tell you from the chat and you just banned them, including Ranty. Am I right?
No, you're not right.
Not banned.
But there
timed
were a
out.
lot of trolls also, like, just trying to agitate me, so I thought they were trying to break my camera.
But they're trying to manipulate the independent variable to prove the cause that Arwin goes crazy if you poke him enough.
Hey, Quantum Eraser.
Yeah, but Arwen got 24 of them to pay to get back in, so he made out.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Not like John to come in through the front door with knocking. Normally John's in the back door.
Not only that, he's here for housekeeping.
John, any signs of gravity?
No sound, Gringo, no sound.
No sound.
Chocolate.
Break it up.
Good morning, essays.
Good morning.
What's your vector, Victor?
Roger, Roger.
Anyway, let's get on with housekeeping. Vamos. Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
It's gonna be a wacky Friday. I like wacky Fridays.
Distance to the sun, you say?
Señor Sol.
We don't even know what the sun is. Fight the Flat Earth tried telling them that they know what the sun is. It's a giant ball of plasma because of spectroscopy. And I was like, oh God, here we go.
Did I ever tell you my story about transsexual no? Anybody?
Nothing.
Transsexual I can't believe I'm struggling to say this word now. Spectroscopy.
No, the sun is not excluded from the second law of thermodynamic violations.
John said he was going to do a presentation on that.
Anybody here heard of Alphine waves?
That was also, sorry to talk over you. QE explained that was his backstory with Robert Pisano. So their discussions were initially over the second law of thermodynamics violation that is the sun in their heliocentric model. Fascinating stuff. I know we use the second law quite often for gas pressure without a container, but that wasn't the meeting of minds in terms of Quantum Eraser and Rob Pisano. It was actually in regards to exactly who was it? Was it the one that just said that in regards to the second law of thermodynamics? Got a right tongue twister on today. Second law of thermodynamics violation that is the sun in their model.
Why is it a second law of thermodynamics violation, Nathan?
get further away from it in their model, it increases in temperature. It's akin to you being next to a bonfire and going, oh, it's a bit hot, stepping back 10 feet and then bursting into flames.
Yep.
No.
Well, isn't the fact that it's a big ball of gas in a vacuum, that's a problem even
That's also
before
a
we
big
get
problem,
to the
yeah.
temperature?
That's a bigger problem. That's the one we focus on typically, right? It's claimed to be a gas giant in a vacuum. What?
And a star.
Yeah, and a star.
Woo!
It's a big burning pile of bullshit.
No, that's a good point. Was that Merlin or was that Merlin? Who was it that said that?
Merle.
Yeah, that's me.
Merle.
That's
Yeah,
me.
good point. They're saying that giant ball, it's not actually that big, you can cover it with your thumb, but by comparison to the stars, they're saying it's the same thing. Well, what?
Sure.
No, it isn't. Clearly, evidently,
Yeah,
self-evidently,
there's
it's not the same.
Billions of them.
Right.
Yeah. As far as I can see, there's just one. It seems pretty important to where we are too.
Very.
It helped a lot during the day. Anthony, are you typing?
No, not me.
Arwen.
Speaking of second law of
There's money in
thermodynamics violations, any
Sorry,
evidence?
what?
Merle, are you there?
Are you typing, Arwen?
No.
He doesn't know
I
how
was though. Not now.
Arwen doesn't know how to type.
Come on, gentlemen, get a grip. And ladies, if there are any.
He doesn't know how to call someone either.
Oh, God, is this going to be a moan that he hasn't thanked you?
No, not at all. Why would I do that?
It did take you a long time.
I've heard rumours that you're whinging like a bitch, Ranty. Is that not true?
Let's not turn
Absolutely
this...
true.
Hold on, that's not fair. Let's not turn this into...
funny.
To be fair, right, it did take Owen a bloody long time to thank him for such an expensive equipment that got lugged to overseas to be handed to him.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Yeah, you forgot to record it, and then my error was that I was flustered in a moment and didn't ask you. Wait, can you please record this again? Because I mucked up on the
Right,
first
guys,
go.
does Arwen have to suck his dick?
No.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
So
Well, you need
No.
to say
Well, thank you. It's all right.
he has done.
Sorry,
When?
Owen.
when.
Arwen,
When did he
just
do
say
it?
thank you now, for God's sake. Just
No,
say
I don't
thank
want to know. I don't want to hear
No,
it.
don't. This isn't fair. Don't put him on the spot. That's not fair.
you.
Anyway, any evidence that you can have gas pressure without a container?
Unnecessary anti-seat?
Absolutely none.
You know they claim.
I'm gonna mute
You know they claim that there's like some of those wandering stars, otherwise known as planets in the heliocentric system. You realise that some of them are claimed to be gas, just gas in a vacuum. You realise that, right?
Blobs of giant gas balls.
Not only that, we're asserted to essentially be a marble with gas attached to the outside in a vacuum in that model. It's absurd.
My bullshit meters goes to the max.
Yeah, you can't have gas pressure magically suspended in a vacuum. That
Yeah,
violates
the
the
gas
second
will
law.
want to disperse in all areas instantaneously. With tremendous speeds, the water will boil and evaporate in an instant too.
Yep.
Entropy.
Yeah, entropy's a bugger
Water,
if you...
water will boil, ice will just sublimate out into gas, and gas will just expand. But all of these things are just hanging out in a vacuum.
I'm gonna ask you guys a question.
In the form of spheres.
No.
I'll ask you a question that I asked the Discord server this morning, which Zanik got totally, how can I say, triggered. Do you think equilibrium and entropy is in any way linked?
Did you get an answer?
What do you think his answer was?
I don't know. You tell me. Dealing with fundies, I can't predict their answers.
No,
He
no, you don't
probably started
understand
with,
it.
well, you don't know anything about entropy, so...
That's a pretty good guess, yeah. Was that right? You don't understand entropy? I'm flat, so I don't hold us in suspense. We're still in housekeeping.
I'm
Wow, he was as coherent as that, was he?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can, yeah. What did he say? What was his reply? We still haven't had it.
The reply is none of us know how it works. And he
you were right,
doesn't-
Chocolate.
How did I know?
You were
Yeah, he
right.
He doesn't appreciate
You didn't
how we
understand
always
entropy.
have to go hot to cold and high pressure to low pressure.
You're
Yeah.
causing a bit of audio feedback there, Nathan. If you could pop yourself on mute, unless you wanted to add something.
Ooh, look what the
Talking to me,
Bing
bro.
search engine just popped up. I'm presenting it. Ooh.
No,
How to use
that's
a P900.
Jupiter.
Oh my god.
Why is anyone listening to Zanuck anyway? I mean, his name's Mud, for crying out loud. Why don't you just put him on mute and kick him out?
Zanuck here?
No, it was a 24/7 Discord.
Anek's not here right now.
But I had another laugh with him this morning. He posts a fake picture of the moon and claims it's evidence. But then in the same instance, he's saying, no, it's a fake picture, but he wants to use it as evidence.
But it looks so real.
Did we do distance to the sun? / moon. Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
No, not a chance.
No.
Not very far away.
Let's see some kind of approximation first. Sorry, I mean proximity, whatever.
We should ask Fight the Flat Earth, because apparently when he's bored, he just measures the distance to the sun.
Didn't it happen when he was just an itch in his dad's pants or something?
He's a radar specialist.
yeah.
About the signals. How many times can a radio signal bounce inside his empty head?
Can someone give me a summary of that? That can't just be left out there hanging there. So Fight the Flat Earth has measured the distance to the sun, you say?
Yeah, I think it was. You might have to ask Riley to confirm, but I think it was during the debate with him and Riley or somebody else that he said something like, "Yeah, I measured the distance."
Yeah, he did claim that. He said
Yeah,
he
he did,
measured
right?
the distance to the sun when he was. He said it was either when he was in university or he gave a date, and whatever reference it was, it gave it made that he would have been about 19. And when he did that at the age of 19, I just called bullshit, because at 19, if you're at university or college or whatever, you're out getting laid. Well, mind you, he's not going to be getting laid, is he? But you might be getting drinks and having a good time, but you're definitely not doing things like measuring the distance to the sun, because there would be no reason for you to be questioning it.
That's not a very good excuse. Shout out to Sean Tibbets for the super chat. Thank you very much for your support. It says cool with a sticker. Thanks. Nice sticker. So just because he's 19, that's why you're saying he couldn't do it?
Yeah. I can't remember exactly what the reason was. He said that he did it at a certain point, landmark in his life. And when I worked it backwards, it meant that he would have been about 19. And I'm like, nah, there's no way that you measured the distance. He said, there was an event. I think it might have been an eclipse or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I just
Transit
thought,
of
there's
Venus.
no fucking way
Transit of
doing that.
Venus?
Pardon?
Is it the transit?
That's it.
That's what it was. It was a transit of Mercury, I think it was.
Mercury, sorry, that's what I meant.
Or Venus.
Not Venus, I meant to say Mercury. That's the only thing I can remember that would be around that sort of time, given that he's a similar age to us, right?
Forget his age. It can't be done. So it doesn't matter how old he was. He's not doing it.
And why is that? Why can't it be done?
Well, you have to make assumptions. Assume it's a physical object. Assume parallel rays, and then look at shadows. So far, that's the only way I figured out they measured distance to the sun. Is based off assumptions.
Well said.
You got a super chat there, Nathan?
Oh yeah, Trish. Thanks very much, Trish, for the super chat. Any evidence? Arwin is grateful. Thanks very much for the super chat. Just for your information, Trish, I just want to let Trish know something. So she sent me a super chat in Amsterdam and said, get yourself a drink. Now, I'm not a drinker. I don't typically drink. But just as a joke, I was like, no, I'm going to put it towards something I'd just bought at the airport, just as a joke at Arwen's expense. I'm sorry, Arwen. But I did actually, just FYI, I did actually go out and buy a drink on you, Trish. Thank you very much for that.
Everyone who listens to the channel regularly should support Nathan on Patreon. Just throwing it out there.
Thanks, Nathan Thompson. Appreciate the support.
Nathan?
So we nearly there with
I'll see you next month in Dallas, bro. I got a really good presentation lined up for you guys. It's going to be good.
Are you at the conference? Cool.
Awesome.
I'm already here in Dallas with Chris Pontius.
You do it? Can you do a plug? You're proficient in plugging the conference?
Well, you can check it out at fe2019.com. Rob Skiba, I'll be there. Nathan Oakley, tons of speakers. They get better every year. You guys, if you go to the conference and it's not worth it, I'll buy your ticket to the conference off you. Okay? If you can look at me in the eye and say it wasn't worth going, I'm not happy I came, I'll give you the money for your ticket.
Is that what I need?
See you there.
You're as bad as Quantum Eraser. You need time, date, location.
I just threw the website in there. I'm sorry. November 11th and 12th, all day, all night. I'll see you there in Dallas, Texas.
Wait a sec. You just punk me.
Yeah, totally. I'm not actually there, by the way. Just so you know. Another shout out to Trish Blythe. Great to hear by Sleeping Warrior 1-2, not Arwen. Oh, that's a bit mean. Can we all stop picking on Arwen?
No.
And Ranty says, thanks
so
again.
Funny.
Hold on,
It's
another
so
super chat. Hold
fucking
on.
funny, guys.
Oh, God, you're
so
struck a nerve.
freaking funny.
Hey, you can't time me out here, though, Arwin, can you?
No, I don't need to. No,
Can you stop infighting?
You're
Come on.
exposing yourself right as you go.
Can you stop infighting? Can you stop it?
You can't.
Please?
Arwen's defense.
Can't keep timing
Ranty
me out
didn't
here,
say
boy.
the price of the camera was a thank you.
Anyway, another shout out to
I
Trish Blythe.
dedicated
Says,
an entire early bird show.
on mute. Anyway, another shout out to Trish Blythe that says, and Ranty, and then gives 666 devil sign. Thank you very much for your support, Trish Blythe. Also, another shout out to to Umbrella, Silver Umbrella, who gives me a cup of coffee super sticker. Thank you very much also for the super chat. I really appreciate your support.
Yeah, you didn't message me direct, though, did you?
Oh my God. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Nah, we don't live in a fantasy world.
Negative.
This is not Narnia.
About the presupposition itself, any evidence of the R value?
Yeah, gold heads are retarded. They have a big R value.
No, I mean the one Nathan Thompson referred to earlier when he was talking about the presuppositions needed to estimate the distance to the sun.
I mean, Venus being the same size like Earth, and somebody just decided that on his own.
Yeah,
and
there
that
you
made him correct. No.
That's what I was hoping Nathan Thompson was saying, but he gave the majority of it. But yeah, that was the other detail I was hoping for.
Yeah.
Right on. So Venus is also a rock, and it's the same size as us, and the size of us is the presupposition of that R value. Yeah, what a crock of crap.
So I'll flash a flashlight from my balcony, and you'll be looking down from the street, and you think that's a rock, right?
Guys, according to their R value, you walk 6,000 miles in any direction, and you're perpendicular to where you started, and then go another 6,000 miles, and you're upside down. That's what the globe
Antipode is a better word.
In his description, upside down was accurate, actually, because he's describing the movement. You're upside down from whence you started. Yeah, correct. Antipode,
exactly.
If you're referencing one and the other.
Yeah, but Nathan is correct, because the first 6,000 miles you're perpendicular, not antipode.
Yeah, that's what he said. That's precisely what he just said.
No, it's
perpendicular to the original location.
Yeah, but the next 6,000, then you can be antipode.
Yeah. We're all in agreement here. Right, I'm going to do another shout out to Trish Blythe. Fortunately, there's been two, so hopefully Trish, who's clearly trying to get this onto a rail of arguments. I already gave Arwin money that he spent on drinks. I'm not being mean. Thank you very much. You're certainly not mean, Trish Blythe. Thank you very much for the super chat indeed. And also a shout out to Super Looming Hyena. Presumed cause for Arwin being ungrateful, question mark. Oh God, this is going to continue, isn't it? I can just sense it. Oh, God, do I read any more? Earth is seriously flat. Also, massive shout out to you for the super chat. Destroying the demonic globe zombies, Animal Mind, and then a zombie face, Effie. And Colin Turner, lay off with the anti-Arwin banter, not funny. I completely agree, Colin. Thank God for Colin Turner. Really appreciate your support and sentiment. Thanks for the super chat.
I just want to clarify one thing. Can I just clarify one thing? When I sent Arwin 30 euros...
No, let's not.
No. When I sent Arwin... Let me clarify one thing. When I sent Arwin 30 euros for his
I'm done with your
P900,
whining.
I told him to buy the Bible that Trish bought him with that money. As soon as I gave him a P900.
You're a nasty person.
So you have that money to go and buy a Bible.
People is to give yourself an excuse to be a nasty bitch
guys.
towards them. That's the only reason you give people shit. So you can give them
Can
more
I
shit.
just ask?
Because you're a nasty piece of work, Ranty.
Arwin, Ranty, who's got the bigger handbag here?
Me.
Right. So sit down then.
Arwin, just take it in your stride like you did last night. Just breathe. It's all good. You're fine.
Arwin, have I told you lately that I love you?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I love you too,
Get
Arwin.
out.
Yeah, I want you to put that 30 euros to a Bible, Arwin, as soon as you got the P900 now. So that money I gave you, I was the first person to donate to your campaign. So please buy the Bible for Trish.
Have you not bought a Bible yet? I was
No,
about
he
to...
hasn't.
Arwin, really? Are you serious?
Yeah, really, I already explained this. Are you going to bring this up?
I thought you'd bought it.
Are you gonna do this, Nathan?
I thought you'd bought it. I'm sorry.
No, I told you. I explained this twice, 3 times now. Everything I get from the freaking super chat, I have to pay back. Okay.
I gave you 30.
A cent.
I gave you 30 and you go fund me.
And everything you gave, Ranty, you gave by your own volition.
money.
Unconditional.
For the P900, so now I want you to buy a Bible with it, yeah?
Yeah, no. It's not there anymore.
Oh, he spent it. Right.
Yeah.
Right, shout out to Dave Rakia. Gafford got his name right this time. $1 for each grammar error I'll make today. Doesn't change the truth, Rakia life. Really appreciate your support, David Rakia Gifford. Thank you very much indeed.
Hey, Arwin, if I sent you a PayPal, could you buy a Bible?
That depends on how much it is. If
I've
I
already
can
gave him the
buy
money
a
for that.
Bible with it, sure.
All right,
Don't worry
great.
about the Bible.
Let me know how much the Bibles are in your area, and I'll send you a PayPal so you can get a Bible, bro.
Goody. Thanks.
All day, dude. All day.
Well, thank you very much, Nathan. That hopefully solves that problem.
Well, 3 people giving him money for a Bible. You think he'd get one now?
You could probably get a great...
Do you have one, Rand?
What's the Bible thing?
Do you have one, Rand?
Have I missed something?
I have a few, actually.
Really?
Right, I'm going to read out your super chat, Super Looming, although I don't want to. So, shout out to Super Looming Hyena for the super chat. It says, scam win, scammed poor Trish and Ranty.
Oh, really? Yeah, I made them give me money. Yeah.
Shout out to the Hizzer.
Any more housekeeping questions?
Can I just ask where this Bible talks come from? Because of all the things I've heard in like...
Did anybody else?
Bible's not one of the words that comes up very often.
Trish Blythe gave him $100 to go and buy a Bible, but she did it through the super chat, and then he said that because it went through the super chat, it would come out of his money, so he wasn't able to do that because it was basically dead money.
Okay, so Trish Blythe says, no, I didn't send him more money for a Bible. I gave him $100, and Ranty gave him more. He lies. Silver Umbrella says, love you, Arwin. So shout out to Trish Blythe for the super chat. Really appreciate your support. Also shout out to Silver Umbrella again for the super chat. Wow, lots of people super chatting today. Thank you very much for all your support. Really do appreciate it.
Arguing's good for the show, Nathan.
Well,
lovely. So lovely. Yeah. You know what, Nathan? If this continues on, if you just allow this shit to happen, I'm gonna leave.
People super chatting me
I'm
to
not
moan
gonna come
about.
back.
Arwin, the problem is people are literally wanting to give me money so that their voice is heard, so they can moan about you not buying a Bible. That's what's happening. You don't have to like it. That's just the situation.
No,
here.
but it's not just about that. See, there's
Alan,
little
just give me a
more
sec.
going on than money being slung
Alan.
around, Nathan. There's more
Alan, let me
priority.
answer your
We
question.
are a group of people. We're in a struggle here against the world, pretty much. And you're
Alan.
just casually treating me like a black sheep here. And
Alan.
letting people
Alan,
obviously and blatantly
Alan,
bully me.
Alan.
Everyone's,
really
everyone's saying his
sick of it.
name. Right, he's trying to
I'm
say that
really
he's getting
sick of it, Nathan.
God. Arwen's trying to get a few words out, and all I'm hearing is Arwen from about 10 different people. Shout out to Earth is seriously flat. It says girls won't procreate with globe zombies. Be smarter. Hold on one sec. Hold on, just one sec. Also, shout out to Trish Blythe. Says I gave him money so you'd buy a Bible and you could have heaps left over.
Ranty, can I ask you a question?
We just did a meetup.
This is really fun.
Hey, I'm not trying to change the subject, but Earth is seriously flat just held a meetup, and that guy's awesome, dude. He knows so much about flat Earth. He's got all sorts of Mayan calendars and tons of books on surveying and astronomy. That guy's awesome, and he super chats everybody. So shout out to Earth is seriously flat. I love you, Renee. You're great, dude.
Also, shout out to Truth Seeker who says Arwen, stop being a baby.
Right,
Arwen's
shut up.
dropped.
Let me ask Ranty a question. Ranty, are you there?
I am, yes. Okay.
Ranty, have you thanked Darwin for your P900?
If somebody gave me a P900, the first thing I would do
And did
immediately
Nathan
come out and
Oakley
say,
and Arwen go and smoke a spliff in Amsterdam? And did he let his hair down a little bit?
Say that again, Mel?
Because there was a moment where you and him, like you were showing him the camera and he was sussing out the camera, and then you said, all right, let's go, let's go enjoy Amsterdam, basically. I'm not trying to implicate you, but did you let your hair down in Amsterdam, basically?
You mean, did it get high? Of course it did. I said it on the live
did
stream.
you get high?
Yeah, I said it on the live stream. I'm not ashamed. The first thing I did, I was like, where can I go and get high? Why not? I'm in Amsterdam, right?
That was great. I really appreciated that. I thought that was great.
So did Arwen.
Yeah. I wish I was there. I wanted
find
to
me
fly
when you
over.
Find me when you get to Dallas, guys.
I don't think it's that big a deal these days, to be honest. But anyway, I'm going to do a couple more shout-outs. So, shout-out to Silver Umbrella, who says, Arwen doesn't need a Bible. That's not the problem, Silver Umbrella. I really appreciate your super chat, but somebody sent him a massive super chat, Trish, and Arwen's excuse was, well, that gets swallowed up because he gets money from government subsidy, which takes that money off him. I don't think it's the point, especially as Ranty gave him a further $30 and a camera and said, go and buy the Bible with the money I put into your GoFundMe campaign, because it's not going to be subject to that. And he still hasn't. I thought he had, so I was more than happy to drop the subject. But on the other hand, I think he should have bought a Bible by now. Just go, that's my opinion. I'm sorry, Aaron, if that's offensive in some way to you. There we go. Trish Blythe says, I'm living my best life. Good for you, Trish. Me too.
Anyway, can we get back on flat Earth?
Yes, please.
Cool.
We concluded housekeeping, so I've got no more compelling questions to ask in that regard.
We're all on flat Earth.
Yeah, Mike Tyson.
For
Nathan
Thompson.
That's awesome.
What's up,
Mike Tyson?
Hold on. Babs has been trying to get a word in for about the last 5 minutes as well. So if Babs can go first, and then you can ask Nathan your question, Chocolate, is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Go ahead, Babs.
Mike Tyson is a flat earther. That's all I wanted to say.
Word.
Nigga, you been to space?
Who's
Who's
a flat earther?
I didn't hear the first name. I didn't hear the first part of the name. Who's a flat earther?
Mike Tyson.
Oh, Mike Tyson. Yeah, I heard.
Mike Tyson.
Really?
Yeah.
He said, nigga, you been to space?
Heavyweight champion. That's what we need.
Yeah.
True that.
When did that came out?
Yeah, that's going to make some
I
good
saw
jokes, isn't it?
something about him talking to somebody about flat Earth, but I didn't know he came out as a flat earther. That's funny.
Cool. Very cool.
You've been to space.
I saw a documentary once about Mike Tyson's extravagant house back when he was obviously super wealthy, and it's now just an abandoned mansion, but with like a swimming pool with about 5 levels and this massive lounge that was like leopard print carpet, and it got this enormous great big cinema screen. And from what the documentary explained, he'd sit pretty much on his own in this like maybe 200 square foot enormous great big space watching boxing on this giant screen. But you know, obviously all the debts catch up with you and you had to abandon the place. But now it just sits out there, just like this abandoned giant mansion with no water in the pools and the carpet's still down, no furniture. It's like weird. Who would, you know, obviously it comes to a point where you build a mansion so extravagant that it's just unsaleable and you just abandon it when you can't afford to keep it. It's just crazy world. But Mike Tyson's a really interesting character. You know, I'm glad that there's somebody of that sort of caliber that's now part of this community, because number one, it'll make for some great jokes. What's that, Fundy? Your model is correct. Tell that to Mike Tyson. See what Mike's got to say. I and Mike will let you know what he thinks. Right, another couple of super chats. So, Earth is seriously flat. Be ahead of the imaginary curve, test the globe doctrine. Thanks very much for the super chat, Earth is seriously flat. And Stuart Swinderton. May common sense and the obvious prevail. Good job. Really appreciate your support. Thank you very much, Stuart. Swinnerton, I think it is. Thank you very much.
So apparently I've got to wait about a week and a half to get internet that's going to be good enough to stream with. That's pretty poor. I changed from EE to Sky, and he gave me the shittiest broadband ever. Told me I couldn't have fibre. Then when I tried to cancel, because I'd only had it a couple of days, they said, oh, guess what? We do have fibre in your area. We can give it you, but I've got to wait now. So, there we go.
No satellite link up?
No.
I got a funny story about the Wi-Fi in Texas. We paid a company to come out and test, and they couldn't provide Wi-Fi to the house. We were too far into the woods.
Yep, my folks had the same thing when they lived on a farm, and it was on the border between England and Wales, right in the sticks. It was an area in Britain that was the lowest light pollution. That gives you an idea of how remote it was. But obviously there's various utilities that they just couldn't get. And so you go, oh, well, obviously we're in a really clear area. You've got the most clear view of the sky in the entire country. Obviously the satellite reception will be amazing. No. Not at all. Of course not. Why would it be with a completely clear view of the sky and no light pollution whatsoever?
I was just 20 minutes outside of College Station where Texas A&M is. 20 minutes away, and they couldn't give me Wi-Fi. Crazy.
Hey Nathan, I meant to ask you, you know that video you have with the moon and the sun both appearing to just move away from us? Where did you get that footage of the moon? Because that's awesome.
I was in Dallas. So Dallas is the Mile High City, but then I went up another couple thousand feet into another mountain to get above that atmospheric dome so that you don't have all that glare causing the magnification of the light, because it's well known in science that when a light shines through a dense medium, it appears larger. So that's why all the globe fundies can't figure out why the sun and moon don't shrink into little dots at sunset, is because they're at sea level and they constantly forget we're in a medium that affects light. So I got that in Denver, Chocolate, and that's a great video. I've never seen anyone else's video of the moon shrinking into a dot. So far, I'm the only one I think has caught it.
Yeah, dude, I pull out your video all the time on people when I'm on Discord or somewhere. You know, it's pretty good. We just watched it on Arwen's this morning. That's why when you showed up here, I was like, oh shit, look at that.
The real fire video is that NASA employee in the airport, dude, who couldn't answer any of my questions. And I pretty much asked him like some of the housekeeping questions here. And he just kept throwing his hands up in the air and fumbling his paperwork and telling me, you know, that was a good video. If you haven't seen me debate the NASA employee in the airport, that was killer. I would check that out.
That was a brilliant video, actually.
So,
is that where you approached the guy in the coffee shop?
No, that was when I was a new flat earther and I didn't really know what I was doing. The recent videos on my YouTube about a month ago I approach a guy who works for NASA. He's looking through documents about how we're going to go to the moon in 4 to 5 years. And I start asking him about the documents, and one of the people I was with started recording off in the distance. And then I start drilling him on space and the ISS and gravitational orbits and the speed of the ISS. And he didn't have answers for anything, guys. It was cringe. It's honestly worth playing. If you guys haven't played it on the show yet, it's 7 minutes long. It's worth playing for the audience if you guys want to watch it.
Yeah, I'll play it through in the after show. No worries.
Cool.
What's the title of the video?
I think it's NASA employee versus flat earther, but I'll grab it and share it in the YouTube chat.
NASA employee threatens to knock flat earthers' teeth out. Is that it?
No, that was about a month prior. This guy it's NASA. Oh, wait. Is my video? Oh, epic debate. NASA employee and flat earther. Who wins?
That guy's first night was brilliant. You could see he was cornered.
I totally cornered him, and I didn't say flat earth the entire time, guys. I didn't drop flat earth once. I just talked to him about fake space, the second law of thermodynamics, violating what space is believed to be. He had no answers for anything. It's just that video is really good. That's probably what I'm most proud of.
Not mentioning flat earth is the way forward.
It's Nathan Thompson Paul's victory.
Nathan, I've got a quick presentation if you don't mind.
Yeah, you're on.
Okay, so this has come up in the past before. This is in the context of Coriolis. And I hate talking about Coriolis at the best of times, but I'm just going to pose a question for people to ponder. I'm not going to give any answers. I'm just going to ask them to think about it. We've had this conversation before with these helium balloons. As they suck the air out, the helium balloons gain in size, and then they drop to the floor because the density of the medium that the balloons is in is getting less and less and less. So the balloons appear to get heavier and heavier and heavier,
Hold
right?
on,
We can
Anthony,
all understand
hold on.
why this is
Sorry,
happening, right?
Anthony. Don't play it. Just scrub through it. Don't leave it playing.
Yeah. So we can see that the balloons get bigger and bigger, and then they drop to the floor because obviously the medium's being sucked out of the container, right? And then one of them pops. And the last time I brought this up, I asked Rumpus what happened to the helium. Did the helium fill it like evenly across the whole container, or did it pool along the floor? But what I'm going to ask now in the context of Coriolis, before the balloon pops and the medium's being removed more and more and more, let's just get his hand out the way. Basically, my question is, in the context of Coriolis, right? If the vacuum is if the air is being removed out of the container, but the container is rotating at somewhere between 400 and 1,000 miles an hour on the rotating globe that we're told we live on, if there's no medium in there for it to be moving in lockstep with the Earth, shouldn't these things be pushed against the wall as the medium's being removed because there's no medium for it to be moved along with the Earth? And the rotating Earth's got to be pushing it in a direction because it's moving, right? Or have I got it wrong? Just bear that in mind. I don't know what the answer is, but I'm pretty sure they should be pushed against the wall of one of the walls if we are actually turning.
Not only the walls, but we have like, I don't know how many different vectors of directions that we're currently moving at once.
There's 4, isn't there? There's the rotation of the Earth around the axis. There's the orbit of the Earth around the sun. There's the moving of the sun and the planets around the cosmos. There's another one in there.
The galaxy itself, and then the solar system,
moving of the Milky Way.
Motion during orbiting the center.
It's the moving of the Milky Way around the Great Attractor.
So if we remove all the medium out of the thing so it can't be moving in lockstep with the Earth, surely it should be pushed against one of the walls, whichever direction the Earth's supposed to be rotating in, right? And guess what doesn't happen?
I love that laugh in your voice.
I can play this video on the live stream if you want me to. Any objections, anybody? Has anybody got something else they wanted to add?
Yeah, did anybody catch the Simon Dan show today?
I don't watch Simon Dan.
Anybody
else?
Do you mean pseudo Simon Dan?
Yeah, it was quite embarrassing for you, Sleeping Warrior.
I don't think so. Why would it be embarrassing for me?
have a little look.
You just tell him.
Hang on. Let me. So you're telling me that a pseudoscientist is going to embarrass me? I don't think so.
Well, you're doing an experiment, and you take a measurement, and you turn around and say, well, these are just numbers. I don't know what they are. They could be unicorn farts.
Yeah.
What's the point of taking the measurement if you don't know what you're measuring and you don't know what the measurement is telling you? But yet you're sitting there telling me you're doing a scientific experiment.
Are you asking me?
My question is I don't know what these numbers mean. Is that part of your scientific method?
Yeah. So are you asking me rhetorically, or is this a genuine question because you don't know the answer?
Well, I don't know what your scientific method is, so I am genuinely asking, is I don't know what these numbers mean, part of your scientific method?
Okay, let me explain it for just you then. What was the elements that I added to the liquid?
You didn't add anything to the liquid.
Added salt.
Wow. First of all, did you see the experiment that you're talking about? You know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I've actually seen the Sleeping Warrior egg experiment several times now.
Okay, and he's.
But yeah, he clearly states the first glass that he takes a measurement from is just normal tap water. He did not add anything to it.
Yeah.
The
question on the table is... Hold on, let me just get this back on track. Sorry, Anthony. The question you were posed by Anthony was what was added?
No, I didn't ask what was added.
No, listen again. Anthony asked you, whoever's in G+, completely rumpusing the mic. Please keep your mics closed. Thank you, Discord. And G+, for that matter. Someone in G+, actually, with their mic open. Flatsoid, can you mute, please? He's asking you what was added. Not what you asked us. He's asking you what was added.
Yeah, he added salt to his second glass.
Thank you. Back on track.
So, yeah, let me take it from you, Nathan. I'm going to enjoy this. Nathan, would you mind presenting my screen for the benefit of your audience?
Certainly.
So we've just agreed that I added something, right? And it was labeled table salt in the test, and you're happy that it was salt. The thing that you're questioning me on, what did it measure? When I said these are just numbers, I don't know what they mean. What did it measure?
It measured the dissolvable solids in the liquid parts per million.
Right. So when it measures the dissolvable solids, some people call it salinity or electrical conductivity, but it measures something, right? Something increased because we had a value at the beginning, which was 212 parts per million. And then at the end of it, there was 299 parts per million, right? These are relative numbers, and it doesn't matter whether they relate to anything or nothing. All it needs to demonstrate is that when I added something, there was an increase in something. It doesn't even need to be accurate. It just needs to demonstrate that there was an increase. Relative numbers. Do you understand?
So now you're telling me your scientific method doesn't need your numbers to be accurate?
Correct. Because scientific method is about a cause and an effect, not about quanta. Do you understand what quanta is?
So it doesn't have to be accurate.
No, it doesn't have to be quantitative.
It's about cause and effect.
No.
Do you understand?
Yeah, but he just said it doesn't have to be accurate.
No, it doesn't have to be quantitative.
That's his words, not mine.
No, that's not what he said.
He did say that. That was his words. He said
your implication is wrong.
He's
He's saying it doesn't matter about the qualitative value that you assign to it. It doesn't make any difference. He's showing there's an increase of something. Clearly, he's added something.
Right, but if he doesn't know what he's measuring, why?
It wouldn't matter either. He doesn't have to give you any measurement. It matters not. The science
it's a
is
qualitative. He isn't measuring. Shut up. He isn't
place?
measuring anything. You clown show. It's a qualitative, not quantitative.
Correct.
Duh.
Cause and effect, not quanta. Do you understand the reason why I did it on the way I did it?
Let me just see. Just let me get an answer from him. Do you understand, Highlander, that the quantification of the change is irrelevant? He doesn't even have to present it. It's the actual cause that's the critical detail in the experiment, not the quantification of the amount that caused it. That's irrelevant. Do you understand?
Nah, ask him if he knows the difference between qualitative and quantitative.
Do you understand? Do you understand the difference between qualitative and quantitative? If I could say the words.
Right, okay, so measuring unicorn farts that's okay.
Answer the question.
Yeah, don't stutter. He just asked you a basic question. Come on, you must know these. Not a trick question.
What you're saying is that you're measuring the effect and not the actual parts per million.
That's not the question. Do you know the difference between qualitative and quantitative? Listen to what I'm saying, essay.
Yes, one is quality and one is quantity.
Oh my God. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Thanks for showing us. Have a nice day.
That was quite a funny, nice one.
Let's not forget the bigger picture here. The bigger picture is that he thinks that Simon Dan is going to make, what did you say, embarrass me, right? And I said, I don't know how you think a pseudoscientist would ever embarrass me. And you're trying to claim something that he must have claimed in his video to embarrass me. But you're looking a bit of a dick now, aren't you?
How am I? You're the one that turned around and said, I'm going to measure this, but I don't know what this means. It could be unicorn farts.
Yeah.
Do you not think that saying these things during a scientific experiment might...
Let me explain to you why I said that. Because morons that don't understand why I said that would pick me up on it like you're doing right now. Anybody that knows what science is, it's a hypothesis test. It demonstrates a cause and an effect relationship, right? The quanta part of it is the bit that you guys love to put into everything to claim science, right? And I did that literally to demonstrate that when I added salt and I then measured with a conductivity meter or a salinity tester or whatever you want to call it, it showed that there was an increase of mass, and it represents a relative increase in that value. And I don't care what you call it, and I don't care what numerical value you put to it, the quanta, it doesn't matter. All I'm demonstrating is that by adding the salt in the real world, I measured a change in that something, and that's all it was.
If he doesn't get it now, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you, dude.
He's a bit retarded.
Yeah, but adding anything solid to that water would have pushed that egg up, providing that the thing that you added was heavier than the egg.
Right, so that's what he's demonstrating then, the relative density cause. Yes, that's correct.
I mean, if you put sand in it, it would have pushed the egg up. Yeah?
And why is that? Because the water would have been denser?
Just for a second,
but the sand wouldn't have dissolved in the water, would it?
Highlander,
no, the sand would have just sat at the bottom.
Highlander, I just want to try and summarise the point that's being made, so hopefully it's understood by you and the audience. If you're looking for something specific, in this case a cause, now we'll take it away from science and we'll take it away from eggs and just say the cause we're looking for is badgers in a certain amount of area. And what you're looking for specifically is just whether or not there are badgers in a particular amount of area. Now, if you establish that there are badgers, it doesn't matter how many, or how many hectares, or acres, or meters squared that you found them in. That quantitative application is irrelevant. You're just trying to establish if they're there or not. And if you establish that they're there...
But how...
It doesn't matter by how many there are, or how much area they're covering. You've established the thing you're trying to establish. The quantity is irrelevant.
So
please tell me you get it now, Highlander.
Do we have a
Yeah, but
concession that
he
you
said
are?
he was going to change the density of the water.
Yeah.
He didn't check the density of either water.
Yeah, he did,
Oh
but he
my
didn't
God.
have to or tell you. It was visually obvious when he added salt.
Yes, but that's my point.
That was the obvious
If you
part.
put sand in it, if you had put sand in it, it would have still had the same effect.
Go
but
back
yet
to
you
picking
wouldn't have
up
changed
cans
the density
alongside of the
water.
road,
Hang on,
supervised.
it wouldn't have done. He's a moron. Why would you
Sand-
think sand would have the same
Sand's
effect?
not soluble.
He doesn't get it.
It's sand.
This
would
guy
just,
is pretty
would
dumb.
just sink to the bottom.
And
But
it's,
it would
it's not
push
a
the
part
water.
of his experiment. The experiment was relative density.
Yeah.
So the sand isn't going to change the density of the water. You're
Because
freaking moron.
Correct.
Exactly.
And
That's my whole
Highland.
point.
Well, Highland, you
that's
must
my whole
admit
point.
if
The
there's
sand-
a force. If
How
there's
is
a
it
force.
sand
Let me-
that
hold on,
making-
everyone shut up. I want Highlander to make his point. He said, that's my point. Go on, Highlander, say it again.
Yeah. He said that the sand wouldn't have changed the density of the water. But if he had added sand, it would have had the same effect as what he did when he added the salt.
Right, no,
Yeah.
nobody.
No, it wouldn't.
So
Hold on,
his whole
hold on,
experiment is
hold
flawed.
on, hold on. There's a way, Highlander.
So the sand would
there's
have
a-
shifted
just
underneath
let me
the
get
egg?
to the end of my statement, please. I beg of you.
Sorry.
There's a method, Highlander, that you can employ to establish whether or not your presumed cause of this effect, something that would not change the density, the actual variable in the hypothesis, you can test that. So what I suggest you do, it's very simple, is go and get some sand and a glass and an egg and some water, and then simply add the sand and see what happens.
Yeah.
Guys told you he's a bit retarded.
This guy thinks the sand is going to maneuver under the egg.
Just going to form a layer at the
Wow.
bottom. It's blatantly obvious what will happen to us because we understand what's being demonstrated. The relative density, as opposed to just adding another layer of something else at the bottom, moving the water level up, but it won't change the density of the water, so the egg won't move a smecking inch. What a load of crap. With that, I'll say if you are watching this on Nathan Oakley 1980 premiering stream, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you're watching this live on Nathan Oakley, this is where we bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you. Smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. Also, of course, a massive thank you to all of today's live panel for making this live show possible. I've been Nathan Oakley. Stay tuned if you're watching on Nathan Oakley 1980, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Experiment. And the only part that he feels that needs to be addressed is because Riley said, "Oh, it doesn't matter what the numbers are."
And chocolate, that's the only part that actually doesn't matter at all.
Not the exactly not the fact that he was able to make the egg move up by changing the density of the water. No, let's not address that.
But he
Let's
never
just address-
tested the density at all.
What?
Neither before or after his experiment.
There's something that's going to fuck your globe right up, though, Highland. You can't compress water. So the curvature of the Earth is curving the oceans of the world, which is a compression of the water, and you can't do that. So stick that up your fucking globe ass.
No swearing.
So, can we go back to your original claim, Highlander? You made a claim originally that Simon Dan. What did you say? Did you say that he made me look silly? Did you?
Well, I said it was quite embarrassing.
Quite embarrassing. And I said a pseudoscientist can't make me look embarrassing. And you've just completely demonstrated why pseudoscientists can't make me look embarrassing, because you have no idea what you're talking about.
True.
All right, okay. So you didn't check the density of the water before and after but yet you claim that you're going to change the density, but yet you didn't prove it.
Yeah. So what happens when I
In
put the
your
salt in?
scientific experiment.
Are you claiming
What
that he didn't change the density by adding salt?
No, what I'm claiming is he did not test the density before or after
The
his
quantity
experiment.
doesn't matter.
We're going around in
Damn,
circles.
this guy is hard.
Can I ask Nathan Warrior a question?
Yeah, you can. Then we're going to play Nathan Thompson's video.
That video kicks ass, by the way.
Okay, Anthony, you said that you can visually tell if the density of something has changed. Are you able to see the amount of total dissolved solids in water just by looking at it?
You don't need to do that. That's a red herring. All you need to know is that when I added mass, that changed the density of the water. And if you see me doing that, unless you deny that adding salt, which is more dense than water, unless you deny that, then you're gonna have to literally like say that I'm a liar because you see me pouring the salt in. But we can test. We know the density of salt and we know the density of water. You can look them up. So, do you deny that you saw me add salt to the water?
I do not deny that I saw you adding salt to the water.
So do
What
you
I'm
therefore
wondering
accept
is,
the density must have got more dense.
right, but what I'm wondering is that in order to tell the purity of water or like the amount of dissolved solids that are in water, you need to use a TDS meter.
That's why I called it unicorn farts. It's a red
Who
herring.
cares?
Did he just say amount?
Sorry, at the point that you accept that he's increased the density of the water, we've just gone over this, right? The amount he's done it by, given a mathematical value, is irrelevant because you could put it on a million different scales and it doesn't make any difference. At the moment you watched him add the salt, you know you've increased the density of the water. Ipso facto, the quantitative measurement of it is irrelevant. We've said this about 4 times.
But the other thing,
how would you know that without using a TDS meter?
Because I watched him add salt. Let me just answer. I watched him add salt. What more do you need?
What if the water already had dissolved solids in it before that?
Yeah, and do you know what happens when he adds salt? Do you know what happens when let's say it was really heavily saturated with salt anyway. You know what happens when he adds more salt? It gets more dense. And do you know how I know?
Right.
Because I watched him add it.
Yeah.
Right, Ryan.
Are you going to say he didn't measure it right now? Again,
the measurement doesn't matter. Oh my god. The measurement doesn't matter.
No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that he didn't measure it. I just disagree with him saying that it's visually obvious to know that something's density has changed just by looking at something.
Really?
If it's more dense than water, it increases the density of water. Do you deny that, Space Pope?
I don't know.
All right,
well, there you go.
On the same page.
Yeah, it was visually obvious to anybody that was watching him put the salt in the water. I think that's what he meant. I don't think he means you could just look at water and just say, "Wow, that's more dense than the other liquid." I don't think he's saying that.
Can I just make
just one more thing, just before you carry on? I just want to add one more thing, Anthony. Just the only reasonable way you could draw this conclusion is if he had 2 glasses lined up next to each other. You didn't see anything being added, and he just said, "This one's got salt in, this one hasn't." And then he fished out the egg, put it in the other glass, and went, "There you go, look, it's higher in the glass." And then he did a measurement to demonstrate that it was definitely more dense water. That's not what he did, though. He just poured salt in.
I misunderstood what Highlander was asking. I thought that Anthony was implying that you could just determine density by observing things, but that's not the case here.
Correct. I'm demonstrating that if I changed the density of the liquid, which was my hypothesis, that I would change the position of the egg. And my null hypothesis was if I changed the density of the liquid, the egg would not change its position. And when I did the test, I added salt, the egg changed its position. So I accepted my alternative hypothesis and I rejected my null. That's science.
That's a scientific method.
Yeah, Babs, this is just the nonsense they're trying to hold on to because they have nothing else. So they're going to look at Riley and say, oh, you didn't know, you said that you didn't know what it's actually measuring. Well, these dickheads don't realize he didn't have to show that measurement. All he had to show everybody was that he added salt to the water because everybody knows that when you add salt to water, it becomes more dense.
Why do you think I expressly stated that it doesn't matter what these numbers are? They could be unicorn farts. It was to make people like you pick me up on it so we could piss our sides laughing at you and make you look like a knobhead.
Yeah, we did it with Brenda. It was really funny.
Which we're doing now.
Why do the Globers care anyway? Because science doesn't prove anything. So
I tell you
experiments are just fun.
I can tell you why, because when being debunked in their assertion that gravity's pulling things, they need to assert that density of the water hasn't changed when it's visually obvious it has, which is quite comical from our side. It's great fun to point out that that's ludicrous.
Yeah, but the Globers don't think that
Pseudo
science
Man
proves
just
anything.
made this video. Like, he just caught on to this. Like, this is... how long ago did you do that salt experiment, Riley?
Like a year ago? What? Longer?
It's got to be about 8 months ago, hasn't it?
So he's gone back to that, and this is the only thing that he could have grabbed out of that video to try to make a video and try to make it look stupid. So, man, then you just made yourself look stupid.
Yeah, anybody that asked me for that point. I mean, I did that point on purpose to basically get people that think that in some way I did it on purpose, mate. I didn't have to show that parts per million meter result at all. All I've got to show is cause and effect, and I did it on purpose. And now you're coming in saying that Simon Dan makes me look stupid, and I say no pseudoscientist can make me look stupid, and they haven't done. What he's done is he sent you in here as cannon fodder, and you've just got dicked, and you don't realise and think that somehow he's right. That's called science by consensus, and it's pseudoscience, mate.
Why doesn't somebody come in and show us the force that Riley added that made the egg move and accelerate, right?
Yeah.
Why doesn't somebody do that?
So now that you've said the word force, Chocolate, let me ask these two morons. If we accept Newton's laws of motion, an object in rest will remain in rest unless acted upon by a force. And we accept this second one that says an object in motion will remain in motion unless acted upon by a force. Can either of you two idiots explain to me what forces were involved when I added the salt? Because one force made it accelerate from rest, then there must have been a secondary force that made it decelerate and go back to rest again. How can you explain that, given that my independent variable, the thing that I manipulated, was the density of the medium by adding salt? What forces were in play to make it move and then make it stop?
Yeah, because you can clearly see the salt going in the water and resting at the bottom, pushing the water up. Which is why I said
That's not what happened. The egg went up.
Oh my god, this guy's stupid.
Yeah, and so did the water.
No, just the egg.
So it wasn't gravity, though,
Right,
was it?
okay, so now you're denying the salt sat at the bottom of the glass, which you can clearly see in the video. By the way.
Yeah, but hang on. I want to know whether or not, if we accept that it was the salt that did something, you can argue about whether it pushed the water up or whatever. But can we agree that it definitely wasn't gravity that did it? Because it was the thing that I manipulated, right? I didn't manipulate gravity. I manipulated the density. It wasn't gravity. Can we at least agree that?
No, what we're arguing is did you really change the density?
Yeah,
I mean, you put your salt in.
Yeah, he
salt
definitely
goes to
did.
the bottom,
Yes.
pushes the water
Yeah, you
up.
don't need to
If the
continue
water goes up,
talking.
the egg goes
You don't
up.
need to carry on babbling. Yes, he definitely manipulated the density. Absolutely, without question. I watched him do it.
So did I.
Can I ask Sleeping Warrior a question?
He won't answer this question.
No.
Not honestly. Go ahead, Highlander. Answer the question honestly.
So let me ask it again. Did I manipulate gravity or did I manipulate the density?
You manipulated the water.
Yeah, the density of it.
So I didn't manipulate gravity, right? So therefore, by exclusion, it can't be the cause, can it?
You forced the water upwards.
Yeah. So therefore, by exclusion, it can't be gravity that did it. Do you agree?
No, when you release the salt, gravity pulled the salt down.
No, that's you projecting your belief.
Which in turn
No,
pushes the water
that wasn't
up.
that wasn't one of the variables in the experiment. It wasn't in the hypothesis. It wasn't even having to be controlled. It made no effect. And do you know why? Because bending of conceptual mediums in this regard isn't something physically manipulatable by Anthony. What was manipulated what was visually obviously manipulated was the density, which you now deny and have decided to project your belief in gravity onto Anthony for some reason.
Yeah, because Anthony's exact words to cite the flat Earth were, "I will give you Cavendish."
Yeah, we'll give you Cavendish. Just what? You've got Einstein.
Hold on, Anthony. You're going to have to explain this to me. According to you, so far as I understand it, because Anthony said the words, "I'll give you gravity," in a discussion with Fight the Flat Earth, that means that the independent variable of density in this experiment is actually gravity, because he said in conversation, "I'll give you gravity," when talking about a pseudoscience application of something called Cavendish. Is that correct?
No. I gave him Cavendish, not gravity.
Cavendish is a pseudoscience piece of apparatus. It doesn't mean
Yeah,
anything.
I didn't give gravity. I gave them Cavendish.
Cavendish is just what's like me saying I've given you a television set.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't mind him having it.
So was that your reasoning? He said I've given you this apparatus, therefore the independent variable wasn't the density.
Yeah,
that
but
we
his
visually
next
obviously
sentence
saw.
after that was, "You can infer from that what you want."
No, there wasn't any inference.
What he actually
There is no
did was
inference.
weigh the
There's no
Earth.
inference.
He weighed
He
the Earth
manipulated.
opposing gravity.
He
There is no
manipulated it.
inference in science. There is no inference in the scientific method. You're a clown.
Cavendish weighed the Earth with his experiment,
No, he didn't.
presupposing gravity.
No, he didn't.
He determined the density of the Earth.
No, he
The
didn't. No, he didn't.
Oh God, Arwin.
Trying to do.
Are you a flat earther, Arwin?
You two, right? You're both going to get chained to a radiator together if you're not careful.
That should be fun.
Can you correct me then? What did I say incorrectly, Nathan?
You didn't. I was telling Ranty off.
Oh.
And yesterday when you went, I was telling the entire panel off. You just happened to be the last person to do a little bit of interruption, so you got the brunt of it and then thought it was all personal towards you, and it wasn't.
So back to this egg experiment. What part of this do you think Simon Dan made me embarrassed?
Well, you didn't. I mean, all you did was put salt in the glass. You can see the
Yeah,
salt
that's
goes to the
false.
bottom, pushing the water up, which in turn
That's
forces
correct.
the egg up because you already saturated the water with salt. Yeah, so it wouldn't have mattered what you put in the water, providing that what you put in it was more dense than the water. It would have fell to the bottom, pushing the water up, and in turn pushing the egg up.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
I have a question
So-
for this Einstein.
So,
Tyler,
so if
Tyler,
he
I
had
added
put
sand-
food coloring into the cup, do you think that would have affected it too, the same way?
Or sugar.
He didn't add food coloring.
No, he didn't. But if he did, would that have had the same effect? Because you say it doesn't matter whatever he put in there, it would have had the same effect. So if he had put food coloring in the cup, would that have had the same effect, Highlander?
No, because
To be
food
fair,
coloring is not solid.
I'm gonna class that as a red herring or a
He
straw man.
was, his experiment was to add a dissolvable solid into the glass to change the density of the liquid,
Yeah.
which he didn't test
Yes,
the density
and that's what he
before
did.
or after.
So what's
So
what's the
at this
problem?
point,
So
we're at the
where's the
point where
embarrassment?
we have to establish: do you deny that adding salt to water will increase the density? Do you deny this then? Because that's essentially what you're having to say next in this position that you're taking.
Well, what was the temperature of the water?
I don't know. I'm asking a specific question. Just let me ask again. Do you deny that by adding salt to the water, he increased the density? Is that something you would deny?
Adding salt to water will change it, but it takes time.
You didn't listen to the key word. So, will it increase the density or not?
But he's already preloaded the water with salt, yes?
Yeah. Yeah. So when I added
Which
salt,
means
and then
depending on the temperature of the water would depend on how long it would take for that water to absorb more of the salt.
It's not the question.
Right.
It's not the question. I'll ask it a third time.
Yeah?
I'll ask it a
So
third time.
technically all he did
I'll ask it
was
one more
add a
time,
solid
Highlander.
to the liquid.
Highlander, I'll ask
Yeah,
it a
that was
third
it.
time. Do you deny that adding salt to the water increases the density? Do you deny this? Yes or no?
I will say adding salt to water will change its density, yes. But
will
not in the
change-
case of his experiment.
So it will.
Damn, dude.
You still haven't got a concise
Good
answer
guy.
out of him. Sorry, your assertion in terms of the qualitative value, does that infer that the density did not increase upon adding salt?
No, it did not.
So you're saying adding salt
Because
did
you
not
didn't give it
increase
enough
the
time.
density of the water. That's your position.
Yeah, because he didn't give it enough time.
Sorry,
made the egg?
he didn't give it enough time. What are you talking about? Time wasn't a variable in this regard, nor is it an independent variable. Who cares?
Oh, according to the Globers, it is.
He
Time is an
always-
independent variable.
Who cares?
We agree he already.
sorry.
We agree he already preloaded this water with salt. Yes, we can all
Yes.
agree on that.
Agree on that. Sorry, no. Let me just establish whether or not you
So
understand
now
what's
we're
going
not
on.
even agreeing that he preloaded the water with salt.
I'm asking
No,
you a
we are
question. I'm asking you a question, and to establish to whether or not you understand the experiment. Please, can you just tell us if you understand, and if you do understand what it is? What's the dependent variable in this experiment, please?
Time.
So, say that again.
Shh. Go ahead, Highlander. What's the dependent variable?
Well, is that not the water?
Oh my god. Can we kick this guy out?
I have a suggestion. I have a suggestion for you, Highlander. Why don't you try this experiment at home yourself?
He doesn't
Then
know.
you don't
He
have to
doesn't
rely on anyone
understand the
else.
experiment.
And you can let.
He can't. I'll answer your question. Whoever said that, he can't. He doesn't understand the experiment.
Or what an
Scientifically
experiment is.
Or what an
Time is
experiment
both
is,
the
correct.
independent and dependent variable.
So I'll just ask him once more, just in case he's established it in the meantime.
My point is,
Not your point. I've asked you a question. What's the DV? Not your point, my point. What's the dependent variable? What is it?
Nathan, screen share. It's on screen.
Started, Highlander.
Highlander just said water is the dependent variable, guys. Can
Boom.
we move on?
Yeah, we can, but we need to concisely
let's do it.
deconstruct his
This guy is
nonsense answer first.
beyond-
Water is not the
beyond.
dependent variable. Absolutely not. The dependent variable, the effect, is things sinking or rising or remaining neutral. The effect is
Bingo.
things moving.
Not
In this instance, while I get rumpus by the other Nathan, is the effect of the egg bloody moving. That's the effect. Not the water raising in level. The egg moving as it visually obviously did.
Right. Yeah, the water is not
so now you're
independent
saying the
variable
water
because
didn't-
the exact amount of water is exactly the same
Yeah.
before and after.
I had it
Just
on screen, Nathan. Are
the
you
density of the material has just changed.
I've got you up, yes, Anthony.
So in the actual test, in the video that I did, I had it on screen, the independent variable and the dependent variable. I appreciate you're in thingy now and can't see it, but I had it on screen. The independent variable is the density of the medium, and the dependent variable is the egg will move. Do you know the difference between the independent and the dependent variable?
No, of course not. I asked him what the DV was. He said water.
Yeah, but let's hear him. Do you know the difference
He said
between
the density of the medium. Yeah? Did you not?
Yeah,
Did you not say the density of the medium?
That's the independent variable. I asked you what the dependent variable was, and you said water.
Then you told him what it is. He probably still doesn't know what it is.
He's an idiot.
You should ask. You should ask him again. Since
The problem is, Highlander, without getting too stroppy with you, you don't understand A, what science is, and B, what this experiment is. That's the problem. But you're arguing with us.
Or Chatman Dan.
Or deciding that Simon Dan somehow has humiliated us, or Anthony in this regard, when you don't even understand the experiment that he's apparently deconstructing.
So let's bring it back on topic. You claimed that Simon Dan embarrassed me, and I'm asking you, where was the embarrassment, please?
Side chat, Dan.
Right, well, there was that, and then there was your 2-year-old picture drawing after your experiment.
So when you say there was that, what was the that in your sentence?
Well, your whole experiment. It was come on.
In other words, nothing.
Yeah? You preload a liquid, right, with salt,
in which
and
he
then
actually
you add
proved the
more
cause
salt
of his
to it, expecting an instant result. That's not going to happen. Yeah.
But it did.
Once you preloaded the liquid with salt, then you add more salt. You need to give the liquid time to absorb that extra salt, which you did not do.
Salt, no, you're wrong. When you add the salt and you preload it with salt, the egg then sits in a place that is literally teetered on the balancing point of the density of the egg relative to the density of the medium. You don't need much of a change to make that egg now become in a different position. And the minute I added that salt, what do you know? The egg did something and it moved. Now, if you're going to argue that I'm in some way embarrassed by this, you're going to have to demonstrate why. Because I'm going to call bullshit. I wasn't embarrassed by this experiment. You just can't explain it.
You actually proved. You actually
add a solid which sat at the bottom of the glass, which then in turn pushes the water up, which then in turn pushed the egg up, which you automatically assumed the density changed.
Assumed? No. He didn't assume anything. We watched him change it.
So wait, we're back to assuming that salt water is more dense than tap water.
No. He's saying you assumed that he made a change in density. That's why I tried to pin him for ages on, do you deny that when he added salt, he changed the density? We don't go round and round in circles. Yeah, he definitely did. We watched him do it.
Can you explain
so you're saying him adding that salt to the water instantly changed the density of the water?
No, that's not true. That is not true. What happened was when I added salt, nothing happened until the salt went below the egg. So instantly is the incorrect word. It was only when that salt went below the egg that changed, because that's the tipping point. When it's above the egg, that water above the egg is not as dense. It's less dense. But when it goes below the egg, it's more dense. And the egg's got to be pushed up from the underside because the adding of mass is changing the density. Literally, I've got it on screen now. I'm literally got it on screen. So when I add the salt, nothing happens until it goes past the egg. The minute it goes past the egg, boom, it starts to move.
Right. So if you had changed the salt to sand, would that have had the same effect?
Why don't you go and do an experiment and tell us what
once it got below the egg?
Is.
Nathan, can you go on mute?
Why don't you go do the
rustling?
experiment? Seriously. This is probably the easiest experiment you could do. Why don't you do it? Put it on camera and show us.
Yeah,
Sand would push on the egg a little maybe, then go past it, sit on the bottom and leave the egg at exactly the same height, maybe slightly higher with the sand layer, because sand doesn't dissolve in water.
Yeah.
If
So
you
the
put
density
more
is not
sand-
changed.
If you put more sand, you will just bury the egg.
Arwen's got it. Arwen understands it.
He's disagreeing with you. He's disagreeing with you. You're saying it would have the same effect. Arwen's saying it would just move past the egg, and that would be it. The egg would stay relatively in the same position. It wouldn't go up towards the top of the glass because it's not soluble. It's not going to dissolve in the water.
Highlander,
So
you
what
probably
happens to
make.
the water level? The water level will go up.
Will it?
Yeah?
Do you want to show us
If
that?
The water level goes
Show
up,
us. Do you want to
the
show us
egg's
that?
Position in the water.
Yeah, we're not interested in the water level, dipshit. Water's not the dependent variable, you dipshit. Didn't we just explain this to you, dipshit? That's not the dependent variable. We're looking at the egg move.
Yeah. Let's not forget the context here is that Simon Dan apparently makes me embarrassed. Yeah, you're in here trying to argue his argument for him, and I'm not embarrassed. I'm laughing.
Chat man.
Side
Dan.
chat
Oh,
Dan.
we're all laughing.
Side
This is
chat Dan
hilarious.
is embarrassing.
Sad as shit.
Look,
Side
if you want to
chat
add Hom,
Dan
Simon,
is
Dan, you've got to go
embarrassing.
one at a time. I'll win first, then Chocolate.
Yay!
Then me.
Side chat Dan is embarrassing, and I call him side chat because that's the only place he likes to hang around and challenge people to come to his channel. I don't think he's ever been on any flat earthers panel ever having a live discussion. So side chat Dan.
Chocolate?
He wouldn't even debate me. He had to call in conspiracy cats to show cartoons of the molten core Earth.
Oh, I'd have tuned into that. That sounds ace.
Yeah. Chocolate, can I go for...
So you thought you
go
thought
ahead,
Simon
man.
Dan
I'll
embarrassed
even-
Sleeping Warrior, but if anything, he made you look like an idiot Highlander. So you've got him to congratulate for making you look like a complete idiot.
So, Chatman Dance, circle jerking with other pseudoscientists doesn't embarrass anybody.
Well, no, he does. You just missed the point the guy before you said. he's embarrassed Highlander. He's come here to say this experiment's rubbish and here's why. He's brought his reasons here and we've gone, well, those reasons are invalid. They're not in tune with the scientific method. They have nothing to do with the scientific method. And the point that's being proven is still being proven, demolishing gravity. We then go through the reasons and excuses, and other than denying that adding salt to water changes the density, they don't really have any argument. So it's an embarrassment for the Globe side who's come and parroted Simon Dan's nonsense. So yeah, it is embarrassing for his own side who come and assert the nonsense he's put forth. Well, I would like to hear an address to that from Highlander. Do you not feel embarrassed? Do you not feel annoyed at Simon Dan that he's told you this and come here and been embarrassed with what he's told you?
Backfire.
No, because Sleeping Warrior never changed the density of the water.
My God, so literally, when I've just summarised, you literally have to deny that adding salt changes the density. Your reaction to that is to deny that adding salt changes the density. You are, on a fundamental level, stupid. There's no other word for it.
And this is not even Simon Dan embarrassing you. This is you embarrassing yourself.
Yeah, that's not on Simon Dan.
That's the saddest part right now.
Yeah, correct, Chocolate. That's definitely not on Simon Dan. That's on your own shoulders. That level of stupidity you can take your own responsibility for. And with that, I'll say thank you very much to everybody in the after show and live panels of today's Discord and G+ servers. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you in the Nathan Oakley 1980 premiering stream for tuning in, hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!